Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. I was right. Now, hold on before you get all uppity. All right. I know it's a little distasteful for people to gloat about them being right, but I got a feeling, right? Like that tonight's gonna be a good. You guys know what I'm saying. Point being is that I love the fact that I'm right when it comes to Star Rail, like gacha games in particular, because usually, how do I put this? I'm either right about the game being bad or I'm right about something being phenomenal. And right now, the game is in a great position. It's phenomenal. So your boy was right, and you're asking yourself, what was EO right about? Which, if you haven't been following me for a while, it's cool. I'm gonna tell it to you. But if you have been following me for a while and you've seen a few of the videos that I've put out, you know that I've been calling a lot of characters slept on, underappreciated, undervalued, if you will. I've been talking about a different meta, or different metas, different team comps that are getting ready to come out. And once they do come out, it's gonna completely change the way that people look at Star Rail. And I'm happy to say we are finally getting to that point. Way earlier than I expected, by the way. I didn't expect anything to happen until Kafka, but we're here now. As of late, we've been seeing a number of different players come through and play through Memory of Chaos, which for the few of you who like to point out Memory of Chaos and the fact that we're not supposed to be there, which I do agree, however, we are there now. We are able to explore different options. And so most of the player base is stuck with the idea or stuck with the concept that we need to play with Seele, with Jing, with Yang Xing, some of the 5 stars that are considered the S tier, or in the community's case, S plus tier, along with 2 sustains, and that's the only way that we can progress. And I am of the side that you do need some sustain. I don't think that you need 2 on one team, but I do think you need at least 1 sustain on one team, and that sustain needs to be very strong. For instance, Natasha by herself cannot do this. Fire MC by themselves cannot do this, but Bailu and Japard can do this by themselves. Even March 7, depending on if you have Eidolons or not, she can theoretically do it by herself too. But I mean, she can keep one person protected, the other person is going to get clapped. So I just don't even use March 7th for those type of scenarios. Regardless, the main point here is that we can officially use other people's teams in MOC. We can use results as references to what I've been saying for the entirety of this game since beta. Since I've gotten to Forgotten Hall in the beta, I looked at character kits. I can read everything from the game, and I can easily tell this is going to be here, this is going to be here, this is going to be great, so on and so forth. And right now, it's the best time to explore with any 4-star. Sampo, slept on character. You want to build up Sampo before we get to Mami Dami Kafka coming out, then build up Sampo. He's going to be wonderful. Serval, I just saw my friend Goba's video. Goba showed me a lot about Serval that I didn't even have any faith in. You guys know it. I had 0 faith in Serval whatsoever. I've been asking y'all to show me a cracked out Serval, show me a strong Serval. And Goba turned around and said, you know what? I think you're looking at Serval the wrong way. In fact, I think everybody is looking at Serval the wrong way. Let me show you. And then he put out a Serval guide, or a Serval like kind of highlight video going over what she does. And it's focused around break, not crit, not attack percent, not speed or anything like that. Straight break. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't even think about break Serval. But the way that you explained it and you demonstrated it in game, oh yeah, best believe we're building a Serval with break build in mind before we get to Mami Dami Kafka. Now, referencing my previous point, a lot of you know that I've been talking about stats that are not always favored when it comes to MiHoYo games, i.e. anything that's not crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, people tend to not look at. And when it comes to Star Rail, now that we've added the RPG turn factor element to the game, well, now speed is being added into that bubble of these are the only stats we're looking at. Right now, thankfully, we're getting to a point where we're looking at break effect, and eventually we're going to get to a point where we're looking at effect hit rate. A lot of people sleep on that. People look at, it's not 100%, or the enemy has 70 or 55% effect resistance, so then using this is never 100%, and it doesn't matter because I'll never get to guarantee it. Well, that's just not true. Effect hit rate is in the game to manipulate whether or not you can actually get 100% guaranteed or not. A big conversation point to this right now is, in fact, Silverwolf. A lot of people are undermining Silverwolf's strength because she is not at 100%. Allegedly, I don't know what the leaks are right now, so I'm not even going to look and bother to talk about those. You guys can talk about it in the comments, but once it officially comes out and I can officially see, then of course I'll reassess everything. But as of right now, Silverwolf's kit, even if the information, right, even if that information were true, it's still sitting at a base of 75% from what I was told. 75% base effect hit rate, the base chance to hit somebody for 75% is still very large. And then if you take that at its base value, just 75% zero effect hit rate, you now have something around a 60% or 68, whatever it is. It's still an over 50% chance to guarantee hit, or a 50% chance to hit whatever it is that you're trying to get on the enemy if they had the 55% effect resistance. Building effect hit rate is not hard whatsoever. I'm still doing the numbers on it. I'm working with a calculator that Goba and his friend allowed me to use, and they've been trying to help me with that so that we can work on exactly how much effect hit rate you're gonna need in order to see this is guaranteed. Because I've done this with Japard in order to get the permafreeze comp, and I've made that number specific. I knew for a fact you needed 108% effect hit rate on top of the 65%, right? So it was 65% for a skill. You needed to have like an extra 40% or something like that in order to build into the 65%. He needed a total of 108% in order to guarantee freeze on any enemy that had, I think it was 26 or 25% resistance or less, and it was guaranteed freeze no matter what, unless they were immune to it. Going above and beyond that, that's when I started to get into, okay, I need 131%. 131% was going to guarantee everyone got frozen unless they were higher than 70%. And I'm like, okay, cool, we can work with that. 131% is great. It's not hard to build that. Now, it will be hard based off substats, and I get that. I'm not even gonna like lie about that and say, oh, anyone can get this and all you gotta do is keep getting substats, blah 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 blah. But what I've noticed is that effect hit rate substats drop a lot more frequently than the crit or attack percent substats. So a lot of you might actually have some what could be considered trash pieces, but they have a lot of effect hit rate. A character like Silverwolf, once again, going into this concept, I'm looking at Silverwolf for speed, for break effect, and for effect hit rate. Not in that specific order, but all three of those are the important stats to me. I don't care about her attack percent. I don't care about her crit rate. I don't care about her crit damage. I only care about break effect because Silverwolf 9 times out of 10 is going to be doing a lot of breaking on my team. I care about her effect hit rate up to a certain point, right? Because eventually I'm going to figure out what that diminishing value is. And if her base chance of hitting everything is 75%, and let's just say that I only needed 68% effect hit rate on her in order to guarantee hit everybody no matter what. Didn't matter what they were doing, doesn't matter how high their effect resistance is currently in the game. If I had an extra X amount of percent on my Silverwolf, I'm guaranteed to hit this thing every single time unless they're immune, which to my knowledge, no one is immune to the effects in the game as of right now. And now that I'm here, I think I got way off track. I mean, I explained everything that I've been talking about in like previous videos, but the entire point of me saying this is that people are playing teams in Memory of Chaos with Pela. I love Pela. She's such a great character. In my tier list, I said I would put her in S tier if she had one specific thing, which was to be able to strip the buffs away from characters. Like Automaton Grizzly was the example that I used, and he buffs himself up, right? Well, she can't actually remove that buff, but she can take it away from the chainsaw. The chainsaw can boost himself up, give himself an attack buff, and she can take that away. If I'm not mistaken, she can also take it away from not Grizzly, but the quantum looking galaxy Grizzly dude, where he absorbs the friends, he absorbs his summoned minions, and then he buffs himself up that way. I believe Pela can also take away that attack buff. And just like I mentioned in my previous video, I said cleansing enemies was going to be huge. That's why I put so much emphasis on Locha, because being able to take away a buff from an enemy is insane. And now, not only did this team for MOC use Pela, but they also use Sushang. And you guys have seen my guide for Sushang. Hopefully, if not, you can go check it out on my channel. But point being is that whole guide is based around a break build, because I think that break Sushang is definitely what needs to be established for that character. And so now they have Sushang, which is their main break. I don't even want to consider Sushang the DPS, even though I know she is. That team even still could have been better optimized. Sushang being the focus on break, Pela being the focus on stripping away things, debuff, crowd control, if you will. They had March 7th. March 7th was going to be there for the freezes, for the sustain that they assumed they needed, which would be shields, so on and so forth. And then they had Ting Yun there to be able to buff up Sushang doing more damage. And truth be told, I actually think that team could be optimized without needing March 7th or Ting Yun. I think having a break specific character, having a specific DPS character, preferably Erudition or someone that can hit multiple enemies. In this case, you could use Seele, but I'm not really focused on Seele per se. But point being is that I think a strong DPS, a sub DPS that focuses on breaking the enemy, and then a debuffer or buffer, if you will, Both of those can be interchangeable, it doesn't matter, but the debuffer has the ability, in this case Pela, to be able to crowd control by freezing. You could in theory use March 7th for that if you only cared about the freeze aspect. And then lastly would be your Bailu, your Japar, so on and so forth. I think that would be how that team gets optimized, and I can't wait to see once this player or any other player is able to actually bring forth the full potential of this team, and they have like the best relics for this team, they've got the best light cones for this team, they've got everything optimized, so they have the perfect turn order, they've got the perfect speed rotations, this person gets to attack 2 times per turn, Sushang is already going to attack 2 to 3 times per her turn with the ultimate anyway. I would love to see all of this stuff really come to fruition. That's what, if you guys can't tell, I get geeked out. I really get geeked out about stuff like this when it comes to Starro, because it's not that I care about being right, it's that when I am right, it's all this stuff, this wonderful stuff comes from it. All of this stuff comes out of the game, and it's like, oh man, we built this build, we made this character strong. Oh my god, Sampo was really slept on. He was right, Sampo's a god. If you put Sampo with Kafka, it's amazing. But then just like, oh man, Io was wrong because he said Serval's ass, but Serval is cracked because you can put her with Kafka. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even think of that. When I tell y'all, I got really excited about seeing that. When Goba showed me that, I'm like, yo, no way. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, bro, I might build Serval, because I love baby girl Serval, bro. I love her character. I love the chemistry between her and Kokolia. I love it all, right? The secret, like, we're girlfriends, but we're not girlfriends, but we're sisters, but we're not sisters. Whatever their relationship is, I love it. So obviously, I'm gonna want to use Serval, and I couldn't figure it out. But boom, break effect, something that I've been talking about for the whole month, right? A whole month and a half. I've been on and on and on about break effect, and then now it's finally here, and I didn't even think about it. I've been looking at Himiko for break effect, and now I'm even considering, like, maybe Himiko doesn't want break effect. Maybe she does want to focus on attack percent. You know, I don't know, but it's so cool. It's super cool. And the best part about all of this, I'm gonna tell you a secret, but I'll do this for like the Kafka / Serval video. But if you get to the end of this video here, I'll tell you a secret. Okay, you can take this with you, but don't take it to the grave. Take it to the grave. Yeah, take this secret with you to the grave until Kafka's banner. If you farm break for Serval, right? If you go farm the lightning set for Serval and you happen to get some break pieces, guess who else can use those break pieces? You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't want to say anybody's name. I said it all video. She is another lightning character, but I'm just saying, if you farm some break for your Serval, guess who else can use that, because their whole kit is also based around break. Ah, my gosh, bro, I love this game.